Hello and welcome back to Jack's Hobby Station. Today I'll be previewing and building Hobby Boss's 1/48 scale M4a3 76W Sherman. First, I started by working on the road wheels and the suspension. Next, I added some larger pieces like the transmission cover. And after that, I added some smaller pieces by the engine hatch. And after adding all the small pieces, I added the suspension. After finishing the lower hull, I started to work on the upper hull by adding the lights and other pieces. And after adding the tools, I used my hobby knife to drill out some holes that were used for drainage. Next, I added some photo etch, or commonly called PE. After finishing the upper hull, I glued it and the lower hull together and started to work on the turret. Next, I started working on the turret by adding the gun and the gun mantle. After adding all the small pieces, I worked on the hatches and glued them onto the turret. After adding all the pieces on the turret, I started to add stretched pieces of melted sprue to make the seam line. After gluing them all down, I started to make them smaller by using my hobby knife. Next, I started working on the cast texture by spraying glue all over the surface and using a brush to stipple it. And while trying to replicate what Night Shift did, I took a power tool and used the same attachment to try and add areas that were sanded down by the workers, but it was a failed attempt. After adding the cast textures using the glue, I used Mr. Surfacer 1200 to add more texture. Next, I bent some more photo etch parts into shape and applied them onto the tank. Next, I used some chains and added some to the 50 count to resemble the chains on the traveling pins. And I placed the last one on the tank by the smoke grenade launcher, as it would have held the cap. Next, I added several pieces of cardboard to hold up one of the tank figures. Next, I started to add the storage onto the tank. I decided to use aluminum foil to replicate tarps that would be on the back of the tank. Next, I added a piece of stretched sprue as a tie down to hold the storage into place. I forgot to add the extra armor onto the front of the tank, so I removed the barrel holder and added the armor. The reason why I didn't remove other pieces from the front of the tank is because I wanted to make it look rushed. And that's the end of today's video. Thank you all for watching. This kit was very nice, but had some major problems, like 2 holes that formed when putting the 2 turret pieces together, but it's well detailed and the PE was a nice touch. Thanks for watching and have a great day. See ya.